Hello everyone and welcome back MMA News Channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Joe Rogan presses Jiri Prochazka on guarantee Alex Pereira utilized dark wizardry to beat him. Jiri Prochazka has a long-standing quarrel with current UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira in spite of previously having experienced two knockout misfortunes to the Brazilian. Recently at UFC 311, Jiri Prochazka got back to the success section with a third-round finish over individual previous boss, Jamal Slope. The two warriors were going into the fend off the rear of misfortunes to Alex Pereira, with both confident that they could score a major success to return themselves to title dispute. Joe Rogan presses Jiri Prochazka following Alex Pereira dark enchantment remarks. Following his UFC 311 win, Prochazka roughly answered the discourse group after he was censured by Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan for his striking safeguard, regardless of having chipped away at it before the battle. In any case, Rogan has squeezed Prochazka back as of late after he showed up on his web recording, The Joe Rogan Experience. Before Prochazka rematched Pereira at UFC 303 prior last year, Prochazka guaranteed that Pereira utilizes dark wizardry and voodoo to assist him with winning battles, and it had a major impact in their pre-battle develop. While on Rogan's digital broadcast, the UFC symbol squeezed the previous boss on his case and requested that he make sense of what he implies by it. I would rather not talk about that completely in light of the fact that it is something that I am modest for, Prochazka told Rogan. I can't say this is all there is to it since everybody has their own particular manner and no one is, even me, ready to express something for someone to genuinely take it. I become mixed up in that question. So truly, I won't talk about where is the enchantment, how to utilize the wizardry. That dark enchantment was the greatest power for my adversary since I was engaged for him, not so much for me, he proceeded. The 32-year-old has transparently conceded that in front of his rematch against Poatan, he was too centered around blaming Pereira for utilizing otherworldly things rather than the actual battle. Joe Rogan concedes Prochazka has developed since his last battle. Regardless of having at first been condemning of a portion of Prochazka's protective work at UFC 311, Rogan conceded in his sit-down interview with the previous top dog that he has most certainly developed since his last battle. You said you needed to develop in the wake of losing to Pereira. One thing I found in this last battle was advancement. The counters, the head development, and the counters were splendid. I was appreciate. That is an alternate Jiri Prochazka. Joe Rogan concedes Prochazka has developed since his last battle. Notwithstanding having at first been reproachful of a portion of Prochazka's guarded work at UFC 311, Rogan conceded in his sit-down interview with the previous top dog that he has certainly developed since his last battle. You said you needed to develop in the wake of losing to Pereira. One thing I found in this last battle was development. The counters, the head development, and the counters were splendid. I was appreciate. That is an alternate Jiri Prochazka. You're most certainly getting better, which is captivating. You had an extremely splendid methodology. You held on until you arrived at a specific level before you entered the UFC, Rogan proceeded. Prochazka will trust that he has sufficiently developed to procure one more shot at the light heavyweight title, and he will watch out for the UFC 313 headliner among Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. Jiri Prochazka informs Joe Rogan regarding his insane thought for new battle game, Give Them Weapons. With the game of MMA developing dramatically, every year we see a few odd advancements made with various principles and guidelines to the standard MMA. The UFC keeps on expanding in power in the realm of MMA and fans are dependably confident that another advancement will actually want to come in and rival them. Recently, the GFL declared it would hold its debut occasion in April and as of late directed their draft in front of the time, which is a one-of-a-kind part of their advancement. Regardless of that, there are significantly more specialty advancements in the realm of MMA, and previous UFC light heavyweight champion Jiri Prochazka has an unusual thought for another one. Jiri Prochazka of Czechia celebrates after his takeout triumph against Jamal Slope of the U.S. Not envisioned in a light heavyweight champion, Jiri Prochazka has a strange thought for another one. Jiri Prochazka makes sense of insane thought for new battle sports advancement. MMA fans all over the planet will probably have seen viral recordings of the battle sports advancement, vehicle jitsu, where soldiers sit in the passenger seats of a vehicle and endeavor to present one another. Another viral advancement that fans might have seen is where soldiers gear up with defensive layer and blades and step into the enclosure to attempt to score a success. The Last Samurai, Prochazka, has a comparable thought for a battle sports advancement as he recommends, give them weapons. During an appearance on Joe Rogan's web recording, The Joe Rogan Experience, the UFC Observer proposed a battle game where the two warriors battle on a tangled ball court. That is the reason I think a b-ball court. Tangled down b-ball court, only two men in the focal point of it have an admonition track. Where you go external the admonition track too often, you lose focuses, Rogan said. This moment I'm simply contemplating the craving games. Just put someone in someplace, and they will see as one another in the regular habitat, and they will battle together, and everyone will watch that. So give them weapons, Prochazka answered. Jiri Prochazka and Joe Rogan talk about Alex Pereira's dark wizardry. Beyond their peculiar conversation on novel battle sports thoughts, Prochazka and Rogan additionally examined the previous hero's past remarks about Alex Pereira utilizing dark sorcery in front of his battles. The Last Samurai has generally expressed that he accepts Poetin, enjoys a benefit in his battles, since he utilizes profound things to assist him with winning. In spite of that, the 32-year-old is confident that following his new win at UFC 311, he has procured the opportunity to retaliate for his two misfortunes to Pereira and conquer the dark enchantment claims. Jiri Prochazka's dubious case that Alex Pereira utilizes dark wizardry and voodoo to get triumphs in the octagon has been a subject of interest and distrust among fans and experts the same. In spite of experiencing two knockout misfortunes to the Brazilian middleweight previously, Prochazka has wouldn't withdraw from his conviction that there is something past actual capacity adding to Pereira's prosperity. This warm competition arrived at another level when Prochazka, new off his triumph over Jamal Slope at UFC 311, showed up on the Joe Rogan Experience and was squeezed by Rogan himself on these wild allegations. The two UFC symbols dug into the idea of the dark sorcery hypothesis, yet Prochazka was hesitant to make sense of his position completely. Prochazka's remark about Pereira's alleged utilization of enchanted powers had at first become exposed before their UFC 303 rematch, which was exceptionally expected by fans after their past experiences. While many chalked up the proclamation to a blend of strange notion and individual dissatisfaction, it actually figured out how to catch consideration because of the surprising idea of the case in the serious and grounded universe of blended hand-to-hand fighting. Prochazka, who had been disparaging of Pereira's striking style and mental fighting before their session, recommended that there was an immaterial, practically otherworldly component that supported Pereira's exhibitions in the enclosure.